This station opened 4 days ago. We're going to talk about what it took to get it here and what it's offering for EV drivers in the area. One thing I do want to talk about is site selection. When you're installing a DC fast charger, you want to put it at a location that's going to be viable for a long time. And we had a spirited discussion on the Coast to Coast podcast live stream hosted by Steve at Plug and Play EV concerning site selection. And one nice thing about hotels like this one is hotels generally don't go out of business. I mean, if they do, they'll change ownership or something, but they don't just close, especially one along Interstate 95, which is just right here. This is Interstate 95. So that makes them advantageous. Also, hotels are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So not only is it conveniently located directly off the interstate, but it's open 24 hours a day with staff. So it's safe. If you are charging and you're looking for a safe place to charge, a hotel is a great option because they always have desk clerks available in case of an emergency. They also have restrooms, and inside here there's a very nice lobby to sit down and get out of the elements and I guess just enjoy some air conditioning, because this is the southern United States after all. I am just across the border of Virginia in North Carolina, directly off Interstate 95. In fact, if I had a rock and I chose to, I could probably throw it hard enough and hit Interstate 95 from here. It is the Country Inn and Suites. This station just was commissioned literally last week and is a part of the North Carolina Volkswagen Dieselgate Fund. Let's talk about that a little bit. So it wasn't always the case that convenience store operators and hotels wanted to put in electric vehicle charging using their own money. There just wasn't enough electric vehicles on the road in order for it to make financial sense. So in order to get around that chicken and egg concept, the government stepped in and was providing funding for the implementation of electric vehicle charging to make electric vehicle travel possible. Tesla kind of was forging their own course with the Tesla Supercharger network and the Tesla destination chargers. But governments were also providing grants and subsidies in order to provide owners who wanted to put in electric vehicle charging in order to catalyst the market, in order to get people to start to drive electric vehicles for the greater good. When Volkswagen was caught altering their diesel admissions, there was a court case in which they were heavily fined. And in order to provide a form of justice, instead of just taking the money and putting it in the coffers of the United States government, they decided it would make more sense, in order to offset the diesel fumes that were generated as a result of their negligence, to have them instead use the money in order to build out electric vehicle charging throughout the United States. That is where the Electrify America came from, the funding for Electrify America by and large. And also there was a disbursement of funds to the states in order to administer programs to provide grants for the implementation of electric vehicle chargers in what are known as alternative fuel corridors. In the state of North Carolina, my state, they've been a little slow in order to implement those programs. The funds are available, and there was a first phase which completed. This is a part of the second phase. This location showed up on a second phase spreadsheet of VW Dieselgate locations on a state website over a year ago. And I was looking forward to this station coming in because it's a terrific location. As I said, we're directly off Interstate 95, and there's a lot of conveniences around, which I'll go over in just a second. But there didn't seem to be anything going. And as I said, my state is pretty slow in order to disperse these funds and follow through with the granting and awarding of the grants. So it was just very stagnant. But I was contacted by someone actually at Blink. I had seen this station show up on PlugShare, and someone said there was a Blink station coming, and then I saw someone actually being able to charge in it. And then shortly after, I was contacted by someone actually at Blink concerning my alternative fuels data center corridor weekly update. There was some discussion back and forth about the Blink data that I'll get to in my alternative fuels data center corridor update on the next time I do it on Friday. But anyway, we were talking about this station very briefly through chat, and this is one of apparently 6 grant locations that Blink is in the process of completing as a result of the awards actually starting to be dispersed to the people who were given the grants. And so the way it works in the state of North Carolina, you do have to have one CHAdeMO connector, and right here there is a CHAdeMO connector. So there is that. And also we got a pole-mounted transformer feeding it. So I'm not exactly sure how much energy is being delivered to this site, but these 2 dispensers are nameplated at 350 kilowatts each. If you go on the Blink website, though, it says 180 kilowatts. So if that's the case, I should be able to plug in with my Volvo XC40 Recharge and get 155 kilowatts, which is my max throughput. All right, let's go ahead and try this out. I actually need to charge. I'm at 28% state of charge. That should definitely be low enough in order to hit a peak charging rate for the Volvo XC40 Recharge, which, as I said, is 155 kilowatts. Those are nameplated at 350. Unsure of the transformer, but according to the Blink app, we should be able to get 180. Let's go ahead and check that out. All right, so this is 1. This is the CCS on 1. A little bit confusing. Let me screen record really quick. That would be, I'm not sure, 208 or 132. Oh, this would be 208. Okay. Start charge. Just connect the plug. Oh, they went for the big cables. Whew. Still got the new cable smell, but very heavy cables. All right, we are connected. I heard a connector. Click. It says insulation testing. I hear the dispenser fan starting to spin up. Something called pre-charge and charging. Okay, we are charging. Let's go inside and take a look to see how much we're getting. 91, 98, 103, 119, 130. All right, so we touched 130 for a little bit, and then we came back down. Wait, no, we're going back up again. All right, well, I mean, that's good enough. We're getting 140, and it seems like it's still ramping up a bit. So, very good. That's good enough for government work. So as I said, my state is pretty slow to disperse the Volkswagen Dieselgate funds, and as such is a little bit behind the curve. We have stations like this that are government funded, at least to a large extent. But nowadays, private enterprise has showed up, and C-store operators or convenience store operators and retail chains, gas stations have all decided to throw their hat in the fray of putting in electric vehicle charging in order to attract the burgeoning market of EV drivers such as myself in order to come to their locations to spend money as a result of our higher dwell time and the sheer numbers of electric vehicles that are entering the general population. It's a way of attracting customers to your location. So stations such as these that are government funded are kind of from a bygone era, but we have to remember that it wasn't so long ago that government funded DC fast chargers were really the only thing around. When you look at Electrify America, basically those are government funded as a result of redirecting funds from a judgment against Volkswagen. Instead of going to the coffers of the Treasury of the United States, they redirected it into the EPA programming for electric vehicle infrastructure. So really those are government funds. Tesla is a little bit of an oddity because, as I mentioned, they are charting their own course and were able to solve the chicken and egg problem by themselves with the Tesla supercharger network. Much kudos to them. No government money really occurring there. But still, we have to remember that we are in the early phases of electric vehicle adoption. Although the sales numbers are hovering around 10%, moving on up to 2.6 million in 2026 is the forecast, at which point we're expected to just see very large growth. Those are just new sales. There's still a lot of vehicles on the market that will take decades in order to funnel out of the system. So even if we went to 100% EV sales, which we're not, even if we did go to 100% EV sales today, it would still take 2 decades to get all the internal combustion engine cars off the road. So internal combustion is not going away anytime soon, and electric vehicles are not going to completely dominate anytime soon. It's going to be a slow transition. But anyway, I thought it was worth telling the story that government-funded DC fast chargers just like this were really the only thing we had only a few years ago. All right, it's a little bit hard to see because of the glare, but let's see what there is to see on the screen. As I said, these are brand new DC fast chargers capable of 350 kilowatts. And according to the Blink app, they're able to output 180. And so we've got voltage, 414, current 220, energy delivered 12 kilowatt hours. Current state of charge is 43. All this looks correct. And I don't see my current rate. I mean, I suppose I would have to do voltage times current, but it would be nice if they actually had the kilowatts being dispensed, but as far as I can tell, they do not. Still functional. We do have a payment method with a card, tap to pay or swipe, so that's nice. And as I said, there are 3 CCS and 1 Chatamo. Okay, it's a little hard to see, so I zoomed all the way in, but there is Taco Bell fast food. There's also a Ruby Tuesdays within walking distance, but I would say the main place to eat around here would probably be the Cracker Barrel, and it is definitely within walking distance. We are surrounded by 2 additional hotels here at the Country Inn & Suite and 1 extremely busy Cracker Barrel. And if you look at the purple flowers just on the ridge line below the Cracker Barrel, that is actually Interstate 95. That's how close we are. And the exit is just right up there near those light posts in the center of the screen. So there you have it, a brand new, commissioned as of 4 days ago, DC fast charger station, courtesy of the Volkswagen Dieselgate Settlement Fund through the administration of the state of North Carolina and hosted by CPO Blink here at the Country Inn & Suites, directly off Interstate 95. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.